Hey, podcast listeners. I'm Gianna.
I'm Chica.
And we're the hosts of Shoujo Sunday.
Shoujo Sunday is a podcast about shoujo anime, which is Japanese animation with a focus on women.
We aim to review and reflect on shoujo and shoujo-adjacent properties that deserve more attention than what they currently receive.
You can find us on all major podcast platforms, social media, and on our website, www.shoujosunday.com.
Thanks. See you there.
Cartoon Boom! Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cartoon Boom. This is a show where we wake up with the Saturday morning sun, plop down on the floor with a big bowl of sugary cereal, and watch our favorite cartoons, both old and new. I'm your shadowy, clam-loving, insidious council member, Joseph.
And I'm a former celestial body that turned into a fish. My name's Chris.
And today we watched Snorks. I almost said the.
I know, I could tell. You hesitated.
Yes, you're right. I did. I was like, why didn't I write the? And we just talked about this.
It's just Snorks. They have attitude. We're Snorks. Get over yourself.
Creatures with attitude. You know what? It was coming up on the 90s by this point. So it's like, oh, and I guess it wasn't. It was kind of mid 80s, but still.
It was still 80s. But, you know,
the attitude was there.
Coming.
It was coming. Yeah.
It's on the way.
Snorks were encroaching on 90s tude. They just didn't know it yet.
Yeah, they had no idea. So it was watered down.
Yeah. Nice. It's not like you to use puns, so I didn't even see it coming. Also, like, Snorks were the originators of steampunk. I don't know if anybody knew this, but they were the original
That's
steampunks.
True. That was very eye-opening, to be honest.
There's a lot of this show that was surprising to me. So, the show Snorks ran from 84 to 88, created by Nick Broca, produced by Hanna-Barbera Productions and SEP International SA. I'm not sure what the SA stands for. This ran for 4 seasons, 65 episodes, 108 segments, originally on NBC from 84 to 86, and then syndicated from 87 to 89. For a short synopsis, the Snorks are playful, multicolored underwater creatures that use their built-in snorkels to dart about and make music.
Yeah.
At a very base level, sure.
That was something that I always wondered is what was the thing on their head supposed to be for? And it helps them get around and do other things. So
yeah,
it shoots air.
Sort of for propulsion. Yeah. Because snorkels that divers use are just used to not breathe water. So it's like,
yes,
having them on there is kind of like a strange opposite kind of snorkel.
It's kind of like, if we're going to be honest, it's kind of like having another back hole, if you will, because nothing goes into it, just things come out of it.
I guess
only gases come out of it, and it, like, you know, it's air that can be used to make bubbles. And
what if they don't have one back there? So it's like a replacement.
That's true.
So they might not.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
What if the snorkel part, the snork, where they get their name from, what if that is basically their sphincter?
So what if they're like literal butt heads?
Yeah.
Intriguing.
I think we're on to something. I don't know what it is, but we're on to it.
I'm very sad we fell down this rabbit hole, or this hole at all.
Yeah. This was suggested to us by Sarah Lee 008 via Instagram, by the way. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah. And thank you for all your delicious treats, Sarah Lee.
All the pies I assume I've had of yours over the year.
Yeah. Have you ever had actual pie from Sara Lee, though? Or has it been like,
man, you know what?
Gas station pie?
I can't say. I've just heard like nobody does it like Sara Lee so many times on old commercials that I'm sure at some point I would have had to run into one of her pies and or other delicious treats.
Yeah, I feel like it had to have had something, but I don't actually know what it is I've had.
She may not even make pies. I'm not, to be honest, I'm not sure what Sara Lee actually does. Okay.
She definitely makes pies. I looked it up.
Okay,
I'm just not sure if I've had them.
All right.
I feel like I probably have, but maybe.
I'm going to assume I have at some point.
Okay.
At some point, yes, in my life.
That's fair.
I've had many a pie, so yeah, it's a good assumption. So who were some of the actors who played in Snorks?
So the voice of All-Star Seaworthy is, and here's the thing, I don't know why the name's All-Star, where all the other names are pretty just
like normal names,
like Casey and Daphne and Junior. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, All-Star Seaworthy was voiced by Michael Bell. This dude's done a lot of good stuff from our childhood. If you're a child from the 80s, 90s, like Joseph and I, you might recognize his voice as Duke from several G.I. Joe cartoons, Prowl and Sideswipe from the original Transformers, Sven from Voltron Legendary Defender, Uncle Chaz and Drew from Rugrats, and Cyclops from Pride of the X-Men, which you and I talk about Pride of the X-Men all the time for some reason.
It always comes back up somehow. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny is like I can like he's got like that default action hero voice, and I'm like I can hear it in all of these guys now, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're totally right.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like All-Star being your name is like if you named your character like main character, like I'm main character Johnson, or in an anime your name would just be Shonen. It's like, okay, yeah, I get it.
I'm Shonen Jones.
Shonen Jones, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're totally gonna make a character named Shonen Jones. That's happening.
Approved.
If we can get anyone to help collab on this, Shonen Jones, we need to make it happen. He just started in it was my first day of ninth grade, and it was just going so swimmingly. It was just a normal day, and by the end of the day, I guess I've got these new powers now, and now I got to save the world. All my friends are depending on me.
I was just your regular high schooler, never really fit in, but now I have more power than anyone in school.
Yeah,
and I have to use it to protect them, and hopefully the girl that I like will like me back.
Yeah, but my best friend, who's also a girl, she acts really strange around me this year. I don't understand why. She's so shy.
Yes. The Adventures of Shonen Jones.
This is going to happen. Yeah, we're doing it. Casey Kelp was voiced by BJ Ward. Also, another voice from our childhood, voice of Scarlet from G.I. Joe, and the voice of Princess Allura from Voltron Legendary Defender. I was choked on that princess word there for a minute. I was like stumbling over it. My mouth got real dry. I was like,
princess.
Princess. Daphne Gilthin, voiced by Nancy Cartwright, someone that we've talked about many times on this podcast, along with the person I'm going to talk about next. But Nancy, most famously known for voicing Bart Simpson from The Simpsons, among many other characters from that show. Now voicing Chucky on Rugrats, and lots of other really awesome voices. Rufus from Kim Possible, the little naked mole rat.
Yeah, I forgot she did that.
Yeah, the voice of Tudor and Aki, and pretty much any other animal from the show. I'll give you I'll give you half a guess, Joseph.
Then I'll give you half an answer. Frank.
Okay, yeah, Frank Welker. You're right. Frank Welker, voice of everyone and everything, including Joseph and myself.
From time to time.
Yeah, he does voice us quite often. So no need to talk much more about Frank Welker. The voices of Junior Wetworth and Governor Wetworth, both done by Barry Gordon, who's done a lot of live action as well as voiceover, but he was the original Donatello from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and also the voice of Razor from SWAT Cat's Radical Squadron.
Yeah.
I feel like, if you say Radical Squadron, you got to say it with like some of that 90s. Like, righteous, like something, okay, fine. And then finally, last character I'm going to mention here, Dr. Galileo Seaworthy. Was that the name? Galileo?
I think Galileo.
Galileo, that's right. God, I keep struggling with this because I look at it and I keep looking at how it's spelled. I want to say it wrong. Okay, or different. Yeah, okay.
I want to say it wrong. I just keep wanting to say it wrong.
Just let me say it wrong. Dr. Galileo Seaworthy was voiced by Clive Revel, mostly known for live action roles, but has made several smaller appearances in cartoons over the decades, including the voice of Alfred Pennyworth in Batman the Animated Series for the first 3 episodes before being replaced for some reason. I don't know, but he's been in other things. He's been in Transformers, a whole bunch of other stuff, just, small little appearances here and there. And that's the cast.
Right on. And for a few tasty marshmallows out of our big bowl of Snork cereal, The show
Oh,
originally,
that sounds gross.
Snorks
That sounds so
I wonder if
phlegmy.
that was a thing, right? It feels like it would have been. I know they had
I don't know.
Smurf cereal.
But when you say snork cereal, it just sounds like, I don't know. It sounds like you're hawking something up, like snork cereal.
Yeah.
Blech.
Yeah. Let me snork a loogie real quick.
Yeah, it sounds like that should be the name for when you're like really grinding through the back of those sinuses to get the last remnants of a cold out of your system. You're snorking it.
It's not even like the word. It's like in, what is it? Onomatopoeia. It's like the word
Yeah.
that it sounds like that word. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just snorking.
Oh, I gotta snork the rest of this out real quick.
Yeah. The show originally started out as a new Smurfs cartoon, but issues over the rights to the characters as well as money divisions resulted in this show's creation as a way to compete with the Smurfs. So it's not that this show was just inspired by the Smurfs. It was made in direct conflict with the Smurfs to try to compete with it. That was its intention.
Yeah, that answers so many questions for me. and I guess it doesn't answer questions. It validates a lot of things that I've guessed about this show from the beginning.
Also,
okay.
Yeah. And I read a little bit more up on it, but it was like a lot that I wasn't going to bring into the show because it didn't matter as much as just the main points. But like, it was actually like a legitimate thing that this like Belgian artist or creator was trying to make the Smurfs cartoon and maybe branch it out a little bit more from the way the comics were. But the producers wanted it to be like exactly like the comics. And that's what upset him to the point where he moved on and was like, all right, then I'm going to make something to compete with it. And went and found this Snorks thing, which someone else had created for a different reason and utilized it in that way. So it was a long-ish story. And like it was more dramatic than I expected. I thought it was just like, hey, the Smurfs inspired it. It is what it is. But this was actually like trying to fight the Smurfs.
I love that, like that thought, like this guy waging war against the Smurfs.
Basically, it's like at least a back alley brawl against the Smurfs. Yeah.
You know, this was a dramatic story. You know, people were killed. Children were left without their homes during the course of this entire battle. I can't wait to see the documentary on, you know, the battle of the Snorks versus the Smurfs.
Just a pile of Smurf bodies in wake of the Snorks.
Oh my God, the carnage.
Yeah. Oh. According to the Snorks, okay, and the Snorks have a backstory, by the way. According to the Snorks' backstory, which was described in the show's worldwide opening theme, a few ventured to the surface, which the Snorks believe is outer space, in 1634 and watched a Royal Navy ship of the Spanish Armada being attacked by pirates. The captain wound up in the water, and that was the first contact between the species when the Snork saved his life, to which the captain then expressed his gratitude by writing down the encounter in his logbook, although very few humans believe in the existence of the Snorks. Since then, Snorks have adopted several human habits, such as wearing clothes. And I also assume that's why they use clams as currency, because they're just trying to be more like people.
Interesting. And that's why they've also created like a slavery system in the Snork world, because they're just like, oh, humans are doing that. We should probably do the same.
This seems legit. We're going to do this. We're going to make everything run off of steam. We're going to have like a city council, a mayor. Like they have towns. It's weird.
They created capitalism.
Yeah. Using shells.
Yeah.
I mean, clams, clam shells.
And pearls.
Yeah. Clams and pearls. Yes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Jeez.
Yeah. So this was legit a lot more than I expected it. I thought it was going to be just a super simple, like, oh, it's just friendly underwater creatures. But no, like these are like underwater people, or they're inspired by people in the worst ways.
So much more backstory than
it needed.
I would have expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The last thing, obviously the Snorks that we encountered in the show live in the ocean, but there are also freshwater Snorks, and the freshwater ones have two snorkels on their head and a distinctive biochemistry from the saltwater Snorks. I think there's like an episode or two that you actually see them, but we didn't encounter any in the ones we watched.
Would they be like, would the same thing that happens to fish apply to them? Like if a freshwater snork ended up in saltwater, would it just die?
You know, I'm assuming, but I cannot verify.
So how do they meet? Huh.
I guess in between. Like I assume they they've been in the surface. Like they can probably hold their breath.
They can go to the surface.
Something.
That's true.
I don't know, man.
It's weird.
A strange world.
I wonder, like, in this world, since I was wondering, do humans exist in this world? You've now answered that for me. And I'm just kind of wondering, in this world, have people caught and dissected snorks to see how they work and function? Because I think it'd be interesting.
You know, I feel like they stay pretty hidden because at behest of their council, you know, they're led by strange shadowy figures in a council that will not let them go outside of a certain parameter. Like they are punished and imprisoned if they they're like not having like good times in Snorkville.
Right.
Like they are very restricted on where they can go. So I don't know that many have like escaped that tyranny.
Could you imagine though, you're like in 7th grade science class, like in biology, and your teacher like pulls out that mini fridge and like whips out those like vacuum sealed Ziploc bags with like little snorks inside of them. Oh no.
I feel like what would give me pause is seeing them wearing like a t-shirt and
clothes.
Like jeans or something. I'd be like, come on, this feels wrong. Frogs I can deal with, but this, I don't know, man. This seems wrong.
They're wearing clothes. They've got like little wallets with their names in them.
Yeah. Pictures with their family, like a little roll that falls out.
No. Oh, those poor snorks.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
So let's go ahead and jump into the episode we watched for today's show. The very first one being Journey to the Source, Season 1, Episode 1A, where the Steam Festival is threatened when there is no steam in the Steam stream. Oh, that's hard to say. No steam in the Steam stream.
Well, I'm proud of you for getting through that, to be honest. I'm proud of you. I mean, it sounds like it is. They're having a festival to celebrate Steam because Steam is the only thing keeping these folks alive, I guess. Because even though they live in the ocean's too cold for them, and they use steam to warm up the water where they live. Because without it, they're going to freeze to death. But I guess one of the main pumps that they're celebrating around, there's no steam coming out anymore. So everybody starts kind of freaking out a little bit.
We see in the human world, like we see this rocket ship launch, and then its propulsion thing falls back into the atmosphere as it does when it detaches, and that's what falls into the water and then clogs up the source that they get their stream or their steam from.
Yeah, that source being basically like an underwater lava flow, which creates steam and stuff. So like that rocket got lodged in there and didn't melt, but sure did clog it up. So there's that. So yeah, everybody's kind of having a little bit of a freak out, and the mayor, it really falls to the mayor to kind of fix things, who then goes to the council of elders, because that's a weird system to me, is that like, so I guess each town has a mayor, but the mayor still has to report to, instead of like a president or a governor, it's a council of elders. So I would assume preside over all Snorks. I don't know.
Think so. Yeah.
And they're just like, okay, we'll award someone 5,000 pearls to whoever can restore it. And the mayor is just like, okay, well, if anyone can help us, it's going to be Dr. What's his face, whose name I'm going to mess up every time I try to say it.
Gallio?
There we go. Dr. Gallio can help. He's a scientist, man. Hey, son, go take this letter over to him, ask him for help. And the son, Junior, is just like, I'm going to get this 5,000 for myself. I'm just going to go to his lab and swipe his stuff and get it for myself.
While that's happening, All-Star, Casey, and the others go and these are our main characters. Like they're trying to go and do it like just for this. They're not doing it for the money. They're doing it for the sake of Snorkville or wherever they live.
Wherever.
Yeah. So steam essentially powers their city and everything too. Like that's their fuel. That's everything to them. And like you said, heats them up, keeps them from freezing. So they find out that there must be a blockage. And even though they're not allowed to go to the source, because that's, I guess, stepping outside of the limits that the council has put on them, the doctor gives them gives them a submarine called the Silverfish. And this was a funny part to me because it reminded me of The Simpsons, where he's like, all right, the Silverfish has a full tank of steam. And All-Star's like, that's good. And he's like, unfortunately, it will only last a few hours. And he's like, that's bad.
Yeah.
They go there hoping that it doesn't break down. And this whole time, while Junior's in the lab trying to find things to get to, the source or free the source so we can get that money, he opens up this door, which happens to be to the submarine that they're about to go on. So he gets trapped in like the engine room of the sub as they leave.
Right. And real quick too, I just kind of wanted to run through what some of the main characters, like who they are, what they're like real quick. So All-Star, kind of de facto hero protagonist of the Snorks. He's the young male Snork who's just kind of like the leader and kind of sporty. He's just, I don't know. He's the Fred Jones, if we're looking at Scooby-Doo kind of style here. And he's a yellow Snork. And then we've got Casey, Casey's pink, right? With the pigtails.
I think that's Casey. Yeah.
Yeah. Who is sort of like his, I would almost say like second in command if he's like a leader. Like she's also usually helping call shots and stuff like that. And it's not like they're a team of something. They're just friends. But those two seem to be the ones that always kind of take charge of each situation. We've got Tudor, who is a green Snork with curly hair on the sides who can't speak. He just makes goofy noises.
Yeah, he just kind of toots.
Yeah, he toots, not out of his butt, but out of his mouth.
Out of his head butt.
And then in some episodes, but not all, and I don't think the character's around for that long, there's an orange one that's with them named...
Daphne?
No. Well, Daphne's there. She's another one of the females, but she's not around too often. She's definitely in the third episode we watched. But there was another male. I want to say, was it Dippy or Dipper or something?
Yeah, I don't even remember. Demi. Okay.
I think he was on the sub too.
Okay, yeah. But those other characters are so passive that it's like, it's basically the All-Star Casey show.
Yeah, it's tough. And Demi's got a little bit more of an attitude. Like he's a little bit of like, if there's an angry Snork, he's the angry Snork. Daphne, as we were saying, another pink Snork, because I guess females have to be pink. I don't know. And she's got like a bob cut. And then they have Aki with them, who is a tiny little red octopus character.
Yeah, that's their pet, basically.
Yeah. And then you got Junior, who is the mayor's son, who's like this little red Snork who wears a hat and is just always up to no good.
Yeah, he's the troublemaker, but not necessarily out to, I guess, stop or hurt others, more so for personal gain. So in this case, trying to get those 5,000 pearls for himself.
And then Galileo, he's purple with like white hair. He's the scientist. He's like a doctor, but he's the scientist of the place. And he is All-Star's uncle, I think.
Yeah, he's All-Star's uncle. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So like they always go to him when they need an invention or they need ideas for something. He's, the go-to Snork for all that kind of stuff. He's the wacky one that invents everything.
Right. The one who's like off the grid a little bit so that they can kind of surpass the council to find an adult who will create things for them and let them go on their weird adventures.
Right. Like specifically with this, because like they're about to take this sub to the source, which is beyond the boundaries. So they're not supposed to be going out there, but they're like for sure that's where the problem is at the source.
Yeah. So they're going beyond the limit. And they end up getting there, but then that's where they also find out that Junior's aboard with them. He decides that he's going to, now that they've freed it and everything, he decides he's going to give them up for using the sub, like tell on them basically. And if he doesn't get the pearls for himself. So they're like, all right, dude, like we didn't even want the pearls. We were just trying to save Snorkville. And so he goes back to the council, like with his dad, the mayor. Is like the council's talking about, whoever did this, like we were gonna reward them, but then also fine them 5,000 pearls and sentence them to 20 years in the salt mines for going beyond the limit. And so, So there is that system of the punishment here is being sentenced to the salt mines.
Yeah, you're basically enslaved in the salt mines.
Yeah. So the Snorks is not like a super friendly, cute world. It's there's some terrifying parts of it.
I guess they could have sentenced them to death. So I guess salt mines is better.
I mean, after you spend 20 years in the salt mines, it's like, aren't you going to wish you were?
Yeah. I mean, you raised a good point. but at least, they got the sub out there, removed the rocket, so they have steam again. So at least they're not all going to freeze to death. So
yeah. So the day was saved.
The day was saved.
Yeah, so these are short episodes, by the way. These are only,
short.
like 11-minute episodes at most. So if it sounds like we're rushing through it, we're probably actually spending more time on it than the episode itself. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's not a lie.
So the next one we watched was The Backward Snork, Season 2, Episode 10B, Patreon picked by Semantics. So thank you for that.
Thanks, Semantics.
The Snorks encounter the mysterious Backward Snork. Yeah? I mean, this one's really weird, but also like pretty good, I guess, for what it was.
Well, I don't know. I've got some thoughts on this one in particular that I'm unsure about.
Okay, so it starts off with the Snorks, or All-Star showing the other Snorks his Snorkerang, which is a strange thing for like the word snork is used so much in place of like
everything.
Every other word.
It's just like Smurfs.
Exactly.
They say Smurf for everything, and Snorks do the same thing. They substitute Snork for all kinds of stuff. Like I swear, like even if you were gonna say like a swear word, you would say Snork.
Yeah,
like, this is
snorking ridiculous. Exactly.
Jinx! I mean, Snork.
Snork.
You owe me a Snork.
I'll snork you one real good.
It's Snork.
So yeah, they're playing with that, but as they're playing around, Junior comes in and tells them they're trespassing on like this vacant lot or whatever that his father's going to build a condominium in. And Junior steals the Snorkerang and throws it and it doesn't come back. And they're curious what happened. And then this faceless Snork comes out of nowhere and just starts approaching them. So they're all freaking out because they're like, oh, it's a monster. And this thing is like walking and speaking backwards, too.
But for one, you say condominiums. He's building clam dominiums.
Oh, that's true.
Joseph.
Sorry. Yes, clam dominiums. You're right.
And yeah, this Snork speaks like Yoda, where he like switches some of the wording around.
Yeah, he's almost like a bizarro Yoda kind of Snork.
And he's basically like a country bumpkin sort of Snork, where he's literally like wearing overalls and has kind of like a bumpkin sort of accent and stuff, and they put freckles on him, and they just make him look like a redneck. It's kind of funny.
His name is Ed, and the sad part about his story is that he's been not banished from town, but essentially driven out of town because he's different, and that's why he lives alone out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, so it turns out what's different is that the snork, or, the snorkel piece on top of his head, his sphincter or whatever, if you will, is backwards, not like everybody else. So that is why when he approached them backwards, because when they propel themselves, the snorks are propelling, and that means their faces are towards whatever they're moving towards.
Yeah.
But he would be the opposite. It means his back is towards whatever he's moving towards. So
I guess he's just talking backwards for fun. Because
I think he's illiterate basically, and he doesn't know how to.
Yeah,
he's not very clever.
He was banished pretty early on in his life.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
If our feet were backwards, like it would be really hard for us to walk forward with backwards feet.
Exactly,
it's kind of like that.
It's sort of like that, exactly. But two things kind of happen here. One, Junior absolutely does think it's haunted, and that Ed was a monster, but the others befriend Ed and are just like, oh, they like play with him and, really become kind of his friend and are trying to advocate for him. All of them end up going to the mayor and they're trying to say, hey, you can't build your clam dominiums here. Our group, including All-Star and his crew, basically because they're trying to advocate for the area, but they don't really get to speak to why. They're just, get stopped at basically you can't do it before they get interrupted. But Junior gets to say his piece that the reason he shouldn't build there is because it's haunted. And the mayor's just kind of laughing it off like, this is ridiculous. No, I'm going to build there and you can't tell me otherwise. Now get out of my office. So they get the idea of like, oh, well, if Junior says it's haunted, let's make it haunted. So they get costumes and stuff. So once the mayor, and I guess it only takes 2 workers to build clam dominiums, they get out there to do the initial surveys and stuff to start figuring out where to start ripping stuff down, they start spooking them with their costumes. And was it Casey got some stuff on a fishing line and started moving it around to make it look like it was like possessed and everything.
Right.
So that was fun.
Yeah, they're dressed like these horrible monsters, as they call them, to scare them off. And they're trying to get out of there and run off. And so as the mayor is running off, he sees... So Ed needs to go back to get those costumes because they have to return them. The other kids have to return them to the costume shop or whatever. And so Ed's going back to get them, but they're kind of floating away as he's chasing after them.
Some of the fish popped into him once Snorks took him off. A couple of fish got in and the fish were swimming with them. And those were heading towards the mayor once the mayor was leaving. So when Ed goes out, not thinking the mayor's still there, Ed goes out to retrieve those costumes. The mayor just sees more ghosts or monsters heading towards them. But then Ed coming right after them, and basically the fish make a run for it. They swim off and drop the costumes. And we think, and I think everyone thinks, that Ed's about to get found out, but the mayor declares Ed a hero for saving him from the monsters.
And so he still goes through with the clam dominiums. It's not like a happy...
that's the part that I'm like, this is stupid.
But he builds Ed his own like skyscraper kind of like tower apartment or something.
He gets a penthouse.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like... It's kind of like the adult in me is mad about it just because I'm like, man, you just gave into capitalism anyway. It's like all that trying to fight to save your home. And you're like, you know what, though? Go ahead and destroy my home as long as you build me a new one.
I mean, this condominium is pretty good. It's way better than living out here in the sticks.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, whatever. Go ahead and destroy the reef. Just build me a cool house.
Yeah. Oh, cool house, you say? Okay, I'm in now.
From an environmental standpoint, not so great, but whatever. As long as Ed got something out of it, I guess.
They actually are destroying the reef to do this. So it's like there is like an environmental message in there, but it's like we don't come out on top here. The environment still gets torn down. There's two messages in there. It's one, be nice to people. Two, forget the environment, build condominiums. Yeah. Don't you want a penthouse instead? Yeah. Penthouse, way better than the environment. That's the second lesson of this. There's plenty of coral out there. Come on. Yeah. Destroy the reef. Yeah. So the last episode we watched today's show... I'm still laughing over that. Destroy the reef. A Starfish is Born, season 4, episode 3A. This was the highest rated. While stargazing, Casey notices a falling star with her telescope. That's the start of it. Yeah, that is how it starts. A lot smaller of a cast this time. We've really just got All-Star Casey, Daphne, and Aki through the majority of this. Till we meet Little Neb. Oh, yeah. My name is Nebula, but my friends call me Little Neb. Oh, boy. I wish you had just said like Lil Neb, like Lil. Yeah, that's his rap name. I was kind of really interested at first because I was just like, oh, I wonder what this is going to be like, because they were going through this creepy looking kind of kelp forest to get to their camping and stargazing spot. And it was playing like this ominous music and it was just drawn real creepy. I was like, oh, this might be kind of a fun, different kind of episode. But that part ends pretty quickly and they just make it to their spot with no problems. And I'm like, oh, all right then. And they set up camp and everything. The story is, so the star falls from the sky. They go to find it to, I guess, retrieve it. And it ends up being like actual living being, Nebula. And his whole thing is like, oh man, like I don't know how I felt. Like it showed them just up there playing ball with it, like playing catch with each other with other stars. Yeah. And so he just trips and falls down out of the sky. So the rest of the episode is really them trying to find a way to get him back up there. And none of the ways that they were thinking of were going to work. Like there's no possible way. The first attempt they made was like with a giant rubber band. It's like, come on, how much force do you think you guys have? And it proves to not work as you would assume it wouldn't. They get him kind of up there, but then he falls right back down. I did, though, like when they first found Little Neb,
There was a cloaked figure that came out and kind of scared them. There's a really big, well, bigger than them, cloaked figure that walked out with a cane, and they all started freaking out. And Aki just runs over and just inks him right in the face.
Yeah.
That was just kind of funny.
Because there's that icky thing sneaking around. Yeah.
Yeah, it's icky.
He'll come back later.
Their thought process is like, we'll just slingshot him back into space. That can't, especially like a slingshot, but done underwater. That'll work.
Yeah. I wish it had been like more dramatic and showing how little that would have worked. Like he just barely floats up and then just falls right back down. Yeah, that would have made it a lot funnier.
That would have been great.
They have, at one point, All-Star tries to like spin him up like a helicopter, also fails. They have their blowfish friend Puff try to float him up there, but he just can't hold his breath long enough. It's like, come on, what did you think he was going to do?
Voiced by Frank Welker.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
And that was sort of the thing too. I was just like, wait, in this world, like a puffer fish can hold its breath, like fill itself up, hold its breath, and it like floats up into the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's like where they fill him with helium or something. I don't know.
That's what I was trying to figure out. I'm like, because if I inhale a lot and hold my breath, I'm not going to float anywhere.
Yeah, I'm just going to fall straight down when I pass out.
Yeah, I'm just going to my tummy's going to hurt a little bit, and then I might pass out after I turn a few shades of red and blue.
Yeah. So, the last attempt they made actually would have worked, but somehow Neb just fell off because Casey, I think, built a rocket, like an actual rocket to launch him up, and it goes up into space, but he just falls off it on the ground. Like he's like,
I like the idea that they're just like, we'll just strap him to a rocket and just blast him. And I'm just thinking, is this thing going to just explode?
Oh,
there's going to be little chunks of like, star all over the place, but I don't know.
That's how Lucky Charms are made.
Yeah, I like that. But then that cloaked figure comes back, and it cracked me up when, I don't remember who it was, but they're like, snork for it! And like ran.
Yeah. The icky dude from earlier sneaks up and he's like, oh, hey, sorry. It's just an old guy, like an old starfish man.
Looks like Patrick Starr's grandpa.
Yeah.
Like his geriatric grandpa, because it's a big pink star.
No, he's like grayish, isn't he?
On my screen, he looked pink.
Maybe. He's the star greeter is what he is. Yeah. And so at first I was like, where's this going? Because he's like, I'm here to take him to his new home. I was like, oh my God, is he dead? Is that death?
Taking him back to hell.
Where all starfish belong. So apparently in this world, all starfish were once stars that fell from the sky. So now Nebula doesn't ever get to go back home. He's a starfish now.
Yeah.
Whether he likes it or not.
Underwater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they take him to like a starfish farm kind of thing. And he meets up with the others and just starts throwing the ball around again. I guess that's just what stars do.
Like a starfish orphanage or something. But it's right next to where the Snorks live. So like they're like, oh, we can visit you every day.
And they never did.
You know they're not going to visit. I bet you that's the last time we ever see Lil Neb in that show. I bet you they never visit him, because it's like that thing where like you make a new friend and that friend's just real clingy, because Little Neb was pretty clingy, and they're just like, oh yeah, I've had such a good time. Oh, when can we hang out next? And it's just like, I'll DM you later. I'm not gonna DM them later. I'm not gonna do that.
I've already erased his number.
I'm deleting my social media.
Yeah. I blocked him on social media.
Deleting all trace of my online profile. So they never find me.
Poor little Neb. Yeah. So
little Neb.
He found his new home, and it is in the Starfish Orphanage.
Yeah.
So it's like, forget about your family up there in space.
You'll never see him again.
Yeah.
Can't even get a message to him, because they can't seem to get anything up into the atmosphere the way they're going.
Right. So yeah, that was the highest rated episode for some reason. Maybe there's just humor to it. I'm not sure.
I don't know. That's an odd one.
Well, Chris, looks like it's about time we send our kids undersea to help All-Star and friends stop the mayor from building those clamdominiums, or help him and get our own penthouse. Then see what they thought of Snorks.
This cartoon was basically just Sea Smurfs. I mean, it was, right? I guess they had one more girl, which is nice, but everything else was, well, it's Sea Smurfs.
I'm not sure what the snork I just watched, but it was a snork load of fun, and I really snork and enjoyed it. Pardon my snork.
Well, with that said, what the snork did you like about this show?
So, okay. Maybe I'm being like overly optimistic about this show, but I could legitimately see it being a potential a potential Smurf rival. The Snurfs. That's the next thing that's going to compete with the Smurfs. I wouldn't have been surprised if they had named the Snorks the Snurfs. Or what if like, what if the Snurfs. So anyway, I could legitimately see it being a potential Smurf rival. Because the plot lines were relatively interesting for a kids cartoon and felt more varied than the Smurfs' usual antics. It's like, sure, like the Smurfs were nearly lunch for Gargamel every episode, but I don't think they ever helped a sentient fallen star adapt to a completely new way of living. So that was something. I haven't seen every Smurf episode, but I'm assuming.
Yeah, we don't know. And we haven't done Smurfs yet for this show. So
surprising.
I
mean,
did
Snorks before Smurfs.
I didn't see that coming. So you never know. Maybe we'll end up doing Smurfs, and like the first episode we watch is like, oh, the star fell out of the sky. Oh, what the Smurf do we do?
Oh, they really did copy it. Okay.
Yeah.
The characters, I think, were all like varied and likable enough. The ones we got to see anyway. And then they had their own brainy Smurf in Junior Wetworth. Also, like it was nice to see at least our main characters were pretty big on inclusivity. Tudor is a part of their primary group, even though he only makes noises. And they were very welcoming of the Ed, the backward snork. So I think those sort of striking differences from the other Snorks combined with the variety of colors amongst them, because there was like a multitude of colors, that might have helped make the inclusivity and diversity message easier for kids to grasp. So I appreciated that.
I did too. I think that was actually something I was going to talk about too, was that they did a good job of using like, I don't know, like diversity light kind of, using, the cartoon and everything with all the different colors. So I think that was pretty well done. And I did like the character designs. I think the designs of the characters were pretty good. And to be all like honest too, I think that it's a smart move, especially if they created this to kind of combat the Smurfs. I think it does a lot to have your characters have distinct different colors in addition to different designs, whereas with Smurfs, they all look alike and only have very subtle differences sometimes to be able to tell them apart, or sometimes it really comes down to just the voices to tell them apart.
Mm-hmm.
Where in this, you can, see the Snork and immediately be like, okay, well, this is All-Star, this is Casey, this is Tudor. So I think that has a lot going for it to help set itself apart in that way. And I also think the world itself is pretty interesting. I mean, you've got like the weird governing system with the Snorks, with the mayor of the town. You've got the ruling council of elders who, if you anger them, you basically end up enslaved because they'll send you to the salt mines as punishment, which is kind of crazy. There's a defined boundary that you're not supposed to cross. I think that that's some pretty good world building ideas, because it adds a lot of mystery to like, what else is out there? Why do they put up with the council? Like, how does this structure get in place? And I just think that it really, I can understand how it would generate as many episodes as it did based on what they've quickly set up. And also just I think I wouldn't say the writing is spectacular, but I think it's decent for the most part. So I think that was something that I would kind of point out as well, is that I think the writing was pretty good. So I understand why it has as many episodes as it does.
Yeah, I feel like, to your point, the writing was on par with the Smurfs, if not slightly elevated above it, because of the addition of the world building and the civilization that they had. Whereas with the Smurfs, and again, I haven't seen every episode of the Smurfs, so I might be wrong, but it just feels like it's a pretty basic layout of like they live in like a mushroom town, and Papa Smurf is their leader, and he's super nice. Like there's not a council or anything. Like they all report to him. Smurfette was created in a lab by Gargamel. That's it. Like that's the most they have going for them. I don't know how expansive it really gets.
Yeah, there might be more to it, but I don't really know. But it's definitely not a perfect show. So let's get into some of those Snorkin dislikes. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, the show wasn't spectacular by any means. It was a decent mid-level cartoon, but it didn't really do anything to stand out, but also wasn't overly offensive to my eyes or ears. So that's saying something. I don't really have like a direct thing to point out that's like, oh, this was bad because of this. Like it was all just so I was very neutral towards a lot of it. I guess like that's neither a compliment or a detractor. It was just like, very mid-level.
I kind of feel the same way. And I think there's a few reasons for that. I think one thing is that even though these are shorter episodes, they crammed a lot in and it's edited down so much that, especially in the first, I would say that first episode, 100% for sure. Second episode we watched, I think I felt the same way. Third episode, not as bad. Each scene feels like it's really intruding on the one that precedes it, to the point in that first episode, it felt a little hard to follow because everything is just coming so fast that like that story had no time to breathe, if that makes any sense. It sounds kind of weird how I'm wording this, but
yeah, no, I get exactly what you're saying. Like we watch shows now and then that have the same format, but a lot of them are paced very well to where it feels like they tell a lot in the short time they have. But this one felt like it was trying to tell too much in that time and ended up just rushing every single scene. Because I felt the same way. Like it wasn't like that it crawled or anything. It just went by so fast that you just did have trouble following the plot line sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's just like they did a fine job of telling the overall story, but they used so many scenes in such a little time to tell that story that it really could have used some better pacing as far as how it was written, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, and this is a big problem, I think, right away with that first episode also, that maybe would have changed my opinion on the show a little bit. But even though they did a nice job of creating different character models for each character, they didn't define this main group of characters very well as far as personalities or anything like that, especially right away in the first episode. Like the only ones that you really come away with getting a feel for are like All-Star, Junior, the mayor, and the doctor. The others, like after that first episode, I didn't even know their names until the next episode we watched. And some of those still I had to like look up later. And in fact, like when you and I were talking about that first episode, I was like, oh man, there was another Snork in there. He was orange. Can't even remember his name. Like I had to still look it up while we were talking.
I completely forgot about him.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters that they just don't give them enough time to be memorable. So I think that is definitely a problem that the show had, is that they just didn't give these characters enough time to really leave their mark with the viewer.
Yeah.
And with all that said, I think that the overall dislike or criticism I have of the show, and this I think goes along a lot more with what you were saying, is that when you were saying that the show doesn't really do anything new. I think you're right. I think this show really shows that the only thing it did was compete with Smurfs. And it, aside from trying to compete directly with Smurfs, it didn't try to do anything else. And I think it's pretty evident as you watch it.
Yeah, it was kind of like they had laid out this whole, idea for this show, this world. They built this world out, and then they just didn't really play enough with it to step outside of the boundaries that they could have. Like there's a lot of really interesting things, but if the highest rated episode was this star one, it's like, is that the best you've got? Like really? It was fine. I didn't have a huge problem with it, but it's just like, it seems like they could have done so much more with it. And I know at a certain point they do introduce like actual villains into it. Like they have like a primary villain in the later seasons, like Gargamel, but we didn't get to see any of that. So I don't really know how effective those episodes were.
Right.
So it's like they started trying to tread in different water, no pun intended, but they ended up kind of just retracing the same thing, just undersea. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like they really just were like making the best Smurf alternative they could. They're just like, this is Smurfs, but this is our version of it, and maybe it's a little bit better. Like, I can't 100% say it is for sure because I don't remember Smurfs 100%, but let's just say, for argument's sake, here's our better version of Smurfs. But that's really all they're kind of offering with this, when I think they could have done more with this rather than shoehorn themselves into just copying another property to compete with it.
And I feel like the Smurfs didn't really have a character that was like an all-star. Like the Smurfs, in its defense, did have a lot more like focus on, I guess all the characters had their own kind of storylines, whereas this one is the all-star show for sure. Whether that's a strength or a detractor, I don't know for sure, but it at least in the episodes we watched, all-star was definitely the headliner.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So overall, what would you give Snorks? It is so hard for me not to say the Snorks.
Or Snarks.
Or Snarks, yeah.
Overall, I think it's an all right show. It's colorful. It's fun. It's got some cool concepts to it, but I really think it could have been a lot more. It could have definitely used some more attention to the pacing and the character development to really connect with the audience more and leave a better lasting impression, at least with me, for sure. So I'm going to give Snorks 2.5 bowls of Clamtastic cereal out of 5.
I dove into this with very low expectations, but was actually surprised at how at least competent it ended up being. While I likely won't be personally watching the rest of the series, I at least now understand why this show does have its own fan base, and how, in some ways at least, it even surpassed the show that it was directly competing with. So overall, I'd give Snorks 3 big bowls of clam chowder cereal out of 5, and would say that if you like the Smurfs but need a palate cleanser from all that blue, then give this one a shot. You might be surprised.
There you go. Don't be blue, be Snork.
Yeah. Just give it a snorking shot. Come on.
Exactly. Thank you again to Sarah Lee for suggesting this. I'm glad we got a chance to at least look at it, because I never would have looked at this without doing it. And I've always wondered what Snorks was all about and, what it was like.
I think that's one of the really good parts about this podcast in general for us, like because we get to revisit these things that had just completely passed us by, or we just completely passed by for various reasons. And so it's good to at least have the knowledge of what the Snorks is in comparison to the Smurfs. So it's like, it's different, but a lot the same in many ways. But now I at least know why. It's because it was trying to surpass it like directly.
Also, I just want to mention too that since we started watching Snorks for this, sometimes I'll eat cereal when I'm watching the cartoons. Not always, but every once in a while. But my God, I have been craving Fruity Pebbles so much watching Snorks. I think it's because of all the multicolored Snorks. But best believe, I jumped into a huge bowl of Fruity Pebbles while I was watching this one.
I love Fruity Pebbles.
But it was the one that ended up having marshmallows in it because I got the wrong box. But it was still really good.
Have you tried, I think you might have you tried that protein powder that's Fruity Pebble flavored? It's so good.
Super good. Also, Fruity Pebbles, really good on vanilla ice cream.
Oh, yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah, so good. If you're ever feeling snorky and want to give something to try, I would do that.
Yeah.
Also, a big thank you to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/nerdsloth, and a big warm welcome to our newest patron, Evs. I'm just going to say Evs, who recently joined at the Twig level membership, which not only gives access to a big backlog of Nerdsloth shows that may not be available to find elsewhere, and lots of behind the scenes stuff happening at the network, but additional bonus episodes of Cartoon Boom.
Well, listeners, looks like our milk supply is now run dry, so it's time for us to say goodbye. And next week, we'll be watching
Apple and Onion, suggested by Lucas via Facebook.
That sounds gross, but maybe fun.
I like
why
you're not gonna eat it.
No, I just mean as a combo.
Show
why
you're gonna watch it.
Yeah, but are they like teammates? I mean, is it like
Apple and Onion?
I don't know. Best friends.
probably an anthropomorphic apple and onion. I don't know. By the way, apple and onion together, not bad, especially with anything pork. Like, I mean, that's some straight up Oktoberfest dish right there. I made this last Oktoberfest, I made some beer braised brats with apple and onions mixed into sauerkraut with it, and it was amazing. So there you go. It's a great combination.
That sounds cool and all, but I was just looking at the little trailer for Apple and Onion, and it actually looked really adorable. So now I'm excited to watch it.
Well, there you go. It's not gross. It's adorable. So
no,
there's your answer.
Surprisingly adorable.
Surprisingly adorable. Apple and onion. There you go.
Well, once again, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
And we'll snork you next Saturday.
Presented by Nerdsloth,
a place for lazy nerds.
If you like what you heard, consider donating at patreon.com/nerdsloth so we can continue bringing you quality shows. Be sure to also leave us a review and share your favorite episodes and clips on social media. If you're looking for more content, visit us at nerdsloth.com.